If you think about it, every single nation in the Naruto world is a dictatorship. There is no democracy there. We know that the ruler of every nation is the feudal lord. We know they're not elected by any means. They seem to be treated almost as royalty. And yes, they do have advisors and people that watch over their decisions, but they seem to have a lot of power and they were not elected to that station. So of course, the major nations in the Naruto world are not democracies. And neither are the smaller nations either. Instead of daimyos ruling over those nations, the most powerful person, essentially the Kage of the main village, is the one who rules there. We can see that when Pain took over the Rain Village, and before him, Hanzo took over the Rain Village. So in the smaller countries, it seems like it's even more so a military dictatorship than in the bigger ones. Even if you talk about the Kages, take the Hokages for example, they are not elected into office. Of course, the requirements for you to be a Kage are different from you just being a ruler, because you have to be extremely powerful as a shinobi, essentially the strongest ninja in your village to ascend to that position. You can even argue that the Hokage position is more democratic than the daimyo position, because normally the Kages are liked by the people in the village before they become the Kage. This is the entire theme of Naruto's storyline when he wants to become the Hokage. He will not get acknowledged if he becomes the Hokage. He will become the Hokage if he gets acknowledged by the village. But this is not always the case. Take Danzo for example, he got there through sheer political maneuvering and manipulation. Put yourselves in the shoes of the average Leaf Village citizen, or even in the average Leaf Shinobi. The third Hokage has died in an attempt of destroying your village, killed by Orochimaru, a former student of Sarutobi. Very sad, the guy ruled over the village for 40 years plus. People really liked him. I don't care what you say about Hiruzen, he was very much liked by the population of the village, and also the ninjas. We have to find a replacement for the guy. And we know that people cannot vote because, well, it would be weird to choose a Hokage based on votes, simply because the Hokage has to be extremely strong. So it kind of narrows your options down to a few. The first guy that gets offered the position is a guy that just came back to the village 2 weeks ago and is known for peeping on girls in Hot Spring all the time. Would you be very happy with that choice? Now, maybe some people know Jiraiya and know that he is a capable ninja, but Jiraiya refuses, so it doesn't really matter. They come up with someone else that's arguably worse in this scenario. A woman that's been away from the village for over a decade, betting her money away, that hasn't had any experience leading a village, and that hasn't been a ninja actively for over a decade. Would you be very happy with that decision? Would you want your president to be a person who doesn't know how to manage money, that drinks a lot, bets everything he has? That's not something I would be happy with. And that's exactly what the Leaf Village gets on Tsunade. Now don't get me wrong, Tsunade is a great Hokage, she turns out awesome. But if you are a citizen of the Leaf Village in that situation, you probably wouldn't like it. Even a lot of ninjas wouldn't like it. Like, who is this girl here? She's been away for I don't know how long, maybe you don't even know her because you graduated the academy after she left, or even just heard some stories about her, which sure are probably great because she was a legendary Sannin, but still, being the Hokage is not just about strength. And yet she gets chosen and you have no choice in the matter. Imagine if she was a very bad Hokage, that would have been good. So it's definitely not democratic either. The Kage is appointed by the village councilors and the feudal lord himself. So you can say the feudal lord holds a lot of power over the nation. The question is, why though? I know Naruto is a shonen anime and political arcs or stuff like that isn't really what the story is known for. There's much more explosions and fights and all that, but I always enjoy to think about the world building and the politics of said world when I enjoy a story. Besides, the Land of Waves and the Chunin exams actually had a decent amount of politics in those arcs, and some people think that they're the best arcs in the entire series. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense for a feudal lord to rule over the entire nation in the Naruto world, unless that feudal lord is exceptionally good at his job and manages to please the great majority. Because who actually holds the power is the Kage. The Kage commands the ninjas, the armies of the world, and if they wanted to, they could easily take over the country and oust the feudal lord. Not having any coups or anything like that is something kind of strange. Now granted, the shinobi system has been created, what, 80 years ago in Boruto or something like that. It's very recent, so maybe these types of things haven't really had time to develop yet. And even though the countries in the Naruto world may be dictatorships / empires, we see examples in the real world where populations of empires enjoyed a decent amount of freedom, which seems to be the case here in the Naruto world. Examples I can give you are the Roman Empire during Pax Romana, the British Empire, the American Empire, and I could go on. But if you have a dictator in command, there's bound to be one that's going to screw things up and try to go too far. So my question is the Naruto world ever going to achieve democracy?
I love democracy.
And grow past the state of dictatorship. We see in Boruto that the Naruto world has already enjoyed a significant development in technology. With technology comes better life standards for the population, and with that, people don't have to work the entire day in the fields and have more time to think about other stuff, such as the way they are being ruled. This usually leads to people questioning their governments, and if the government is tyrannical, or even if they don't enjoy as much freedom as they wanted to, this can also lead to rebellion. It wouldn't be surprising, by the way things look in the Boruto story, if democracy would emerge. Of course, I'm giving too much credit for Boruto to think about the governmental system of the Naruto world. They don't even think about, the main character, so yeah. Allow me to pitch an arc for the Boruto series here. Just me on a whim trying to do something with the Boruto series, maybe an arc that would be more interesting than them having to fight aliens that came from outer space trying to destroy the planet with this very one-dimensional motivation that we're kind of sick and tired of right now. What if the feudal lord in the Land of Fire all of a sudden decided to charge more taxes? Yes, everything starts with taxes. And the population of the Land of Fire was very discontent with that. The feudal lord is trying to push his power too far. He sees that the number of ninjas in the Leaf Village has diminished, and that the power in the entire shinobi system has decreased as well, so he sees this as an opportunity for him to gain more political power and also money, which he can use to fund his own army. Naturally, they wouldn't be as strong as shinobis, but they would still be a capable army of mercenaries. Maybe he can even hire ninjas from other villages and rogue ninjas to establish a greater presence around the entire Land of Fire. Of course, the Leaf Village wouldn't like that one bit, and Naruto would be forced to do something. Seeing that the citizens in the Land of Fire and also in the Leaf Village don't like the new policies implemented by the feudal lord, Naruto holds a meeting with the feudal lord, and he tries to convince him to step down, that he doesn't need all that tax income he's collecting from the people. Even people who don't even have that much have to pay a lot of taxes. But he says he's the feudal lord and this is necessary for the protection of the Land of Fire. And by the way, you don't have to make the feudal lord completely evil here. You can just make him have a new, different view of the world. Maybe it's a new feudal lord after his dad passed away and now he thinks that the shinobi system isn't really the way to go anymore. He is funding those stupid ninja tools that shouldn't be in the story, but as they are, the feudal lord actually uses them for once. He implements the scientific ninja tools in his new army of mercenaries and says that ninjas are too expensive to maintain, they require too much training, and the amount of missions ninjas are getting in the present doesn't really justify their existence anymore. They don't make enough money to sustain themselves. So he's creating this new army, collecting more taxes to fund the protection of the Land of Fire through the scientific ninja tools. And he tells all that to Naruto. He says, you may have a couple more years here in the Leaf Village, but there's no point for the Land of Fire to have a ninja village. We already have the scientific ninja tools. You are in the past. Naruto would get outraged. Wouldn't agree at all, of course. And he would ask the feudal lord to reconsider, but he wouldn't. The feudal lord would leave the meeting and Naruto wouldn't know what to do exactly. A few weeks pass and Naruto realizes that fewer and fewer mission requests are coming into the Leaf Village. His combo spies find out that many missions are being given to the army of mercenaries using scientific ninja tools. The mercenaries are cheaper because they don't require that much training. They only need the tools to function as a ninja, and the tools have been paid for with the taxes the feudal lord collected. Naruto will then see a decent amount of ninjas from the Leaf Village deserting to the army of mercenaries created by the feudal lord, because at least they're getting paid. Other ninjas in the Leaf Village will just give up on being ninjas and seek other professions, using their ninjutsus for other things, and this will leave the Leaf Village very weakened. Naruto and Sasuke would be forced to confront the feudal lord, and then a civil war would ensue. Nobody wants this civil war. Naruto doesn't want it, the feudal lord doesn't want it, but the ninja way is being challenged, and the feudal lord won't step down. This would be a big conflict for Naruto. He's the Hokage, he has to serve the feudal lord, but what if the feudal lord doesn't do things well? What if the feudal lord is taking advantage of the population? What if the army the feudal lord is funding now is doing things bad? Maybe they're doing the missions, but they're being unethical. They're actively harming the population through the usage of the ninja tools. After all, they don't have the training of ninjas. And maybe the feudal lord begins to overextend himself and try to conquer other lands. An arc like this would be very interesting. No aliens, no stupid cyborgs. Sure, you have the ninja tools here, but I mean, just use them for something if they are in the universe. And you have something else other than I am going to eat away everything in this planet because I'm an evil Otsutsuki. The arc could end with the beginning of democracy. Naruto ousts the feudal lord, showing him that the world still needs the ninja way, shinobis. But Naruto would also learn that maybe implementing the scientific ninja tools in his ninja army could make for more powerful shinobis with a better variety of jutsus that would strengthen the ninjas as a whole. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and like this video to help me out. Thank you so much for watching.